jump in the back of the pickup truck and join us for a ride back to the good old days.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
A nostalgic podcast based on entertainment and memories from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Come with us and revisit the best time ever. So jump on your BMX bike, pop a heavy metal tape into your Walkman, and hang on tight while you go back to the past with us.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hi, listeners. Welcome to Pastimes at 80s High. This is AJ. I'm going to do a quick little top 7 list tonight with me and my brother Mark. How you doing tonight, Mark?
I'm great tonight, AJ. How you doing, man?
Not so bad. Not so bad. So what we are going to do is we are going to do our top 7 favorite wrestling personalities. Now, there's quite a few ground rules we did here to kind of get a bunch in there. Just this is our first kind of test run. So when I say favorite, they're not necessarily the best wrestlers. They're just personalities. So wrestlers, management, commentating. So a few of the ground rules are going to be that, for example, a tag team will count as one. And then anyone really tightly associated will count as one, meaning not going too off the curb, but you'll get what I mean when we get going here. So just for the interest of moving this along and getting our first test up there, Mark, to edit, why don't we start with your number 7?
Okay, well, my number 7 is a man, a gentleman, and as Brother Brain said, and I mean gentleman, is Brother Love.
Yes.
Brother Love, he had that great skit. Bruce Pritchard played him. It was so much fun, and it bothered me how all these people that were supposedly good guys, faces, whatever, treated him like dirt.
Agreed.
And the fans treated him like dirt. Even Brother Gorilla treated him like dirt. And I mean, he healed a blind guy and actually helped him walk too. And his face, he was filled with so much love, AJ, that his face was beet red.
Absolutely.
It had nothing to do with any makeup he might have worn. It was not makeup.
No. Of course it wasn't. Jeez, people will say anything if they don't like someone.
It's crazy, AJ. People
it is
gossip all the time.
Well, it's ironic that is that's your number 7 because he is great. And I should lead off by saying that Mark and I both turned heel pretty early in the day, and it was just always so much more fun, to be on that side. So my number 7 is going to be somebody who helped to write the Book of Love, and that is the $1 Million Man, Mr. Ted DiBiase. He was always one of my favorites, just because, like I said, and get a kid in the crowd to come on down and $500, whatever he was going to give the kid if he did, 10 push-ups and whatever the skit was, whatever they were going to have the person do, the $1 Million Man would always make sure it didn't follow through to the end. So on the 9th,
Yeah, that girl bark.
Yeah. On the 9th push-up, he'd kick the kid's arm out from under him. On the, 3rd basket for 3 in a row, he'd jump up and, goaltend it. So,
but I do think when he helped Brother Love write the Book of Love, I think he had a change of heart. And I mean, it was obvious that he loved each and every one of us too. So,
yes.
Yeah.
All right. So perfect. So that's our number 7, Mark. So number 6 to you.
Well, they were a tag team back in, I think it was the late 80s. Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage. obviously great individual talents. Well, Hulk Hogan was a great talker. Brother Gorilla would say he doesn't know the difference between a wristwatch and a wrist lock, or you know what I mean. But he did everything through his physique and his personality and his interview skills. Randy Savage had both.
Damn right.
He had a lot of moves in the ring, and he also was a great talker. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was unbelievable. And Miss Elizabeth, how could you not just love her coming down with him?
That's where Savage returned to be a heel. Hogan was grabbing her ass in the middle of the ring.
Unacceptable.
No, uncalled for, AJ.
Very much uncalled for. Right. Yes. So Hogan and the Macho Man, I mean, two of the biggest ever, really, if you think about it. And just both incredible on the microphone,
Yep.
All right. My number 6, I'm also going to go with a tag team. And that's going to be the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. Always loved it. Just they were so disrespected by the crowd. And I just felt, very, very hurt for them. They just...
No, I did too, yeah.
We'd stand up during the national anthem and, Mark and I are both incredibly patriotic and very American, but, like you had said once before, Mark, we don't want to see anyone kneeling during our national anthem. So why on earth would it be okay to disrespect someone else's? And
it is not okay, AJ. Not okay at all. And one of my biggest problems with the Iron Sheik, he went to the wrong barber. You can tell that story, AJ.
Oh, when Joe, he take too much off.
Yes.
Was that a skit on the wrestling cartoon?
Yes.
I think it was in between.
That was fun. Yeah. That was so much fun to watch that.
Great cartoon. It was so much fun.
Yes,
I'm a coming Hulk. I can still hear Hillbilly Jim.
That was Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. What was that called? American Wrestler?
Oh, God. Saturday morning. I don't remember.
It was like American. Whatever. It was just great.
We'll figure it out. We'll get it to you people.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop being so impatient with us. You know what I mean? But
right. So, the signature move, of course, with the Sheik, the camel clutch, will go down in history. All right. So, number 5 to you, Mark.
Classy Freddie Blassie.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he spans a lot of different decades, but early 80s into the mid 80s. I mean, great manager, such a great talker, wrote a great song called Pencil Neck Geek.
Oh, incredible songwriter.
Yeah. And he was so much fun, He's got a neck like a stack of dimes. We got a woman over there that's got a dress made out of burlap sacks.
He was spectacular. Oh, and what about his wardrobe?
His wardrobe, AJ, my entire wardrobe would cost 10% of one of his spectacular. His jackets. They were diamond studded. Diamond studded.
Oh, he was great. And Pencil Neck Geek, Grit Eating Freak, Scum Sucking Peahead with a lousy physique. One way, no good losing streak. Nothing but a Pencil Neck Geek. Our father, until the day he passed away, just a couple months ago, actually, in the nursing home, he would sing that to me every visit. Awesome. All right. So to number 5 to me, stick in the same category with Captain Lou. Captain Lou Albano, one of the greats, especially when he was a heel. He bounced around, right? Like, not, you know what I mean, as far as management goes, but just him and George the Animal and him and the Fabulous Moolah and everything for that matter, but with the rubber bands on his face and just
15 or 16 tag team title
Yep.
holders.
Mm-hmm. And
he was a guiding light. He was a guiding light, AJ. And
yes.
I mean, I'd be a liar if I didn't say that he helped me through some tough times.
Absolutely.
With some of his advice that he didn't directly give it to me, but I'm sure he pretty much helped you through life too. So
absolutely. He also helped me with my diet actually. I'm on keto again now, and he's the one who first taught us about the high protein, low carbohydrate diet. I'll never forget. It was hilarious because he's saying that with Moolah, and they're both eating like a 3-4 foot sub on like a 7-pound roll. Definitely wasn't fucking low carbohydrates, but just so funny, just loved it. All right, number 4 to you.
Number 4, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yes, indeed.
Great talker, became governor of Minnesota around the year 2000 in that area as an independent. But as a wrestler, he was not very good in the ring, but that we're talking about personalities.
Absolutely.
And Bobby the Brain Heenan said, great talker, great color man as far as announcing.
One of the best.
Clarity. The announcer is the guy, the ring announcer, but the guy, he was
commentator.
Commentator, yeah. Thank you. Sorry.
Everyone knows that.
Yep. And he was great. Great interview. Just
he was friggin' unbelievable. Unbelievable. And just whoever he dealt with was just, he was by far one of the best talkers. He's the one who said about what's he gonna do? Strum the rubber bands on his face with Captain Lou on the Wrestling album. All right. Number 4 to me is one of the greats in my mind, and that's Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Every time you bring his name up, I get so humble. I don't know what to say.
To golf in 18 every outing, to, bowl of 300 every time, just home run every at bat, just
without a flaw, without a blemish, from top to bottom. Everything that I have ever done has been absolutely perfect.
He was
I
just
did watch that one.
The perfect man. Yep. He was a fucking good dude. Sad about losing his kid, and that was rough. Mm.
Yep.
All right, so that's number 3 to you, brother.
Mean Gene Okerlund.
3 to you.
Gene. He was the perfect interviewer. He was so witty. He knew what to say. He knew every time he would play off what the wrestler would say. And he was just so fucking funny every damn time.
Yep.
I don't know. Do you remember when he was tag team partner with Hulk Hogan? Mean Gene Mania. That's what Hogan had for sure. They played that on the Saturday morning wrestling cartoon.
Yeah. Just hilarious, and like you said, just didn't ever miss a beat. Like,
never.
Talk about witty. He would finish, like, before whoever he was talking to would finish speaking, he'd have the greatest reply or comment that was so fucking funny. Just, it's about the hair. Don't say it.
And you should check out some of his, there's not a ton of them, but some of his shoot interviews, because they fucked up in the very beginning of the interview, and then they would just go on and have it like with Kamala. Remember Kamala?
Yeah, of course.
Ugandan giant.
Yep.
Well, he said, I don't speak English, What were you doing in that hotel in Chicago, Kamala? I was doing a fucky. That's one that just...
Yeah, I saw a bunch of those. That's a great doc on Peacock about him.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, he is just unbelievable. The best, greatest voice too. Like, he had the perfect voice, for everything he did was friggin' amazing.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's see. I think
he's missed.
Actually, you know what? I don't think you have. Ah, shit. No, you haven't said this one yet. No repeats yet. Wow, I'm really surprised. But I'm sure this is going to wind up maybe being one, but maybe we'll see. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Just, I don't know what I can say about him. I mean, he, to me, was, probably the best manager all time in wrestling. Just
well, the Heenan
spectacular.
family was a thing of beauty. They some of the best wrestlers ever, and I don't think they would have been as good as they were without his tutelage. I don't think there's any way.
His moves in the ring were fucking spectacular. Very funny too. If you ever watch him,
yeah,
he was very sporadic. Remember when they made him he was knocked out and they put the weasel costume on him?
Didn't make me happy. I thought that was very disrespectful. If you want me to be honest with you, AJ. I'm not really gonna laugh at. I'm not gonna laugh at that. It's not to me.
He was awesome. You're number 2 then, brother.
All right. Well, AJ, this is kind of on a sorry to yell. This is kind of on a tag team thing. So we're gonna have a 1 and a 3A, if you will, because 1 is
all right. What's your number 2? We are on your number 2.
Yes. Well, what I'm saying is Piper, Roddy Piper, and then and as a tag team, Paul Orndorff. I mean, I couldn't leave Paul Orndorff off my list, and this is a way with the guidelines we had to put him on the list.
No, absolutely. That's fine.
And Paul Orndorff was if you ever see the skit where he's in the gym, you'll never look like me, so get that out of your mind. You're pathetic, But Roddy Piper, oh my God. McMahon gave him all the leeway he needed, which he deserved. And, he with Piper's Pit, I mean, he was very intimidating. And this is back when we were finally becoming heels. At first we probably didn't like him, but boy, oh boy, he was just on point. And I think he ad-libbed a lot. And
oh, sure did. Sure did.
And I think Jimmy Snuka still has a headache.
From the old coconut.
You want coconut? We got coconut. You want pineapple? But he had a personality right till the very end.
Oh,
he was great on his Hall of Fame speech too. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh yeah, it was great. All right, well here we go. My number 2 is Mean Gene. So what more can we say about him? Mean Gene.
These pythons. Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? Well, for an honorable mention ahead of the time, I will say, well, no, who knows? I don't know who your number 1's going to be, so let's just move to that.
Okay, well, you've already talked about him, and I didn't really want to talk about him much with you because, my number 1 is brother Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Brother Brain, yep.
The wrestlers, I gotta be like I said, I don't think they would have had the success they did without Brother Brain. Look what he did for Andre the Giant. He brought him to WrestleMania 3.
Oh yeah.
And if it wasn't for his bad back and everything, he would have won the title. And okay, but seriously though, that alliance was fun.
Countless.
He just had so many. He had so many great wrestlers. And again, I don't know if they would have got to the heights they did without Brother Brain. And most importantly, he ended up breaking his neck in the ring. I'm not sure the situation on how it happened, but it's not a work. He actually broke his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And,
wait, did you just break kayfabe?
I broke kayfabe. But
Jeez.
So anyway, he didn't want to manage anymore because you have to take bumps, which means basically,
of course.
But the major part of the bump is taking a body slam. Those are tough. I actually, a couple of friends of mine back in the day in Manchester, they were wrestlers, and I just didn't have the guts to do it. I'm not.
Oh, really?
I just didn't want to be thrown on my back. But anyway,
For no reason, I can't imagine why you would.
well, I know, but I mean, I suppose after a while you figure out what to do. But bottom line is, my favorite part of Bobby the Brain Heenan was with Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh, and that's who I was about to say on an honorable mention earlier, Mark, and shut my mouth. So good. I'm glad I did.
But they were just so fun. And talk about, you talked about me and Gene Okerlund. They played off each other. And
they were fucking brilliant together. Brilliant.
And, and of course, everyone thinks they don't like each other, but they loved each other like brothers. And in fact, during Brother Brain's Hall of Fame speech, the last thing he said is, "I just wish Monsoon was here."
Oh, yeah.
It was heart-wrenching when he said that.
Oh, the way Monsoon would always have something to say about what he was wearing. It was just so fucking funny. They were unbelievable together. I can't remember. There were so many different shows back then. I can't remember if that was Tuesday Night Titans or
they had a Superstars, WWF Superstars.
That was Monday nights, I think, right?
Yeah,
and then American Wrestling or something was.
There was so many shows.
So
back
many,
then.
but they were. What a great.
It's so much better than it is today. So,
yep. All right. Well, up to my number one, and once again, the reason I kind of laid off, and the way you snuck a few people in there, I'm going to do the same thing right here, because my number one of all time is. I came here for two reasons: to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of bubble gum. Fucking Roddy Piper. Yeah, They Live. What a great movie. It's a cult classic, man. And like you said,
the first time I heard of that movie was when Mom was watching it. What are you watching, Mom? Yeah. They Live.
And then you see Piper and you're hooked. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so I'm going to sneak in someone with him. And that is Cowboy Bob Orton, also known as Ace. His bodyguard. They were spectacular together, always with each other. But just Piper's Pit alone, I look so forward to that every time. One of my favorite episodes. The Snuka one is obviously will go down in history. But I loved when Frank Williams was on the Jobber, and have you ever won a match? And just what does he say? He says, "You say it."
I don't run from nobody.
That's great. You got room for nobody.
I got no room for nobody.
You got no room for nobody. That's a wonderful thing. You got no room for nobody, but you're a lousy wrestler. It's as simple as that.
I might be a lousy wrestler, but I'm still in there. I got not afraid of nobody.
And he just, when he starts telling him, I've never lost a match. And
he never lost a match.
But just there was so much with him involved in, and the way McMahon gave him leeway was just, his ad-libbing was second to none. Oh, he was just awesome. All right. Well, I guess that about wraps it up. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, you're welcome, AJ. That was a lot of fun tonight, man. It brought me back. And let me tell you, you pencil neck geeks, I'm so happy you joined us, too.
Awesome. Well, thank you, listeners. We appreciate you joining us here on Pastimes at 80s High, and we hope to see you again real soon.
And I'll see you later. I'm gonna steal your little girlfriend. That's because all your burgers stuck for answers. Somebody say hello. I want you to come in, jump a little bit with the dog. Back to back, belly to belly, bumper to bumper, wrestle rock, hawk,
You've been listening to Pastimes at 80s High. Our passion is the nostalgia from the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. When times were more simple, times were more fun.
Hey, bud, let's party.
And we weren't stuck in our phones all day.
Inconceivable!
We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, you can send an email to pasttimes@80shigh@gmail.com and hit the website at pasttimes@80shigh.com. See you next time.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.